Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. This is a general meeting of the Waipuna Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton Community Board. The meeting is live streamed and recordings will be available on the Community Board's YouTube channel. Now, voting records will be published in the minutes and on the council website. If a voting record is not shown for an item in the minutes, it means that the item was carried unanimously by those present. Now, if you're sitting in the public gallery, thank you for attending, and we welcome your interest in our discussions. Please note that the public gallery should remain quiet during the meeting. Toilets are located in the corridor outside the meeting room. In case of an emergency, please exit via the door at the back of the room. There are 2 staircases to exit the building, and please follow staff directions in the case of an emergency. I would also ask that cell phones be put on silent mode or turned off, please. And so we'll do our karakia. We can stand up. Pakantaka teho kite ulu, pakantaka teho kite tonga, tiama ina kita kiuta, tiama tara kitai, ehi ake anas di asatura, eshiro, ehuga, ehuga, jaya mai. Right. Thank you. Now, we have an apology from Councillor Tyler Harrison Hunt and from Board Member Sarah Brunton. And we also have an apology for lateness from Helen, who will. Oh, Helen's here? Oh, yes. So Helen's here. So we've got Helen and Debbie on Zoom. So just. Huh? Right. Moved by Mark and seconded by Cody. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. And we move on to the declarations of interest. I have here noted that we've got Joseph Fullerton and Cody Cooper declared an interest in item number 13. Do we have any other declarations of interest? No? That's right. Okay. Now confirmation of previous minutes. Cody moved, seconded by Andre. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Now we move on to the public forum. May I please call on Tracy Bank? Please come forward. Tracy will address the board on behalf of Ngapuna Y Sports Hub Trust regarding the Hornby Pool. Welcome, Tracy.
Hello. Thank you.
No, it's not the Ngapuna Y Sports. That's not correct. It's zero. Okay. Just make it.
I'm here on behalf of the Hey Broomfield Community Development Trust.
Close enough.
We have a swimming group which goes down to our nice new pool every Monday, and we've had a great time. We started the group just after the pool opened, and we're down there for about an hour and a half each Monday. Now, we've had a really good time down there, but there's a few safety concerns, and they seem to be quite ongoing. The pool hadn't been open for long, and in the spa pool there was a cover about this big, white cover. It was missing off the floor. So they had on the left-hand side, as you're walking down the ramp, they had a sign there and 2 road cones. I said to several people in there, did you read the sign as you came in? No, what sign? They didn't see the sign. Not only did they not see the sign, a lot of people can't read the signs. There's not too many words on them, but there's a lot of people who are illiterate in the area and can't read. Out of the 12 people that we take on a regular basis, there's 5 of them that can't read the signs. Yesterday we went there, and this is one of the signs. This is up at the hydro pool. It's been up there for 2 months now. A month ago, I went to the service desk there, and there's this lovely man here there that we filled in forms, filled in a complaint. I'd complained to staff 3 times beforehand about it, because the sign is actually at the side where those bars are. You go between those bars, and that's where the step's missing. If I put a chain in between those 2 bars, then nobody could enter the pool at that point, which would be a lot safer. I suggested that. I suggested putting the sign over that piece and making it so it couldn't be moved. I don't know if anybody's been hurt yet, but it was only yesterday I saw that it hadn't been done. There's also a second photo, and looks very similar to that one, a little bit different. That's actually at the main pool, the lane pool, and top step missing there also. So my concern isn't the fact that things get broken. There's usually a few hiccups when things open, and you expect that. You've got to expect that to some degree. But to take 2 months and it's the first one still hasn't been fixed is far too long. I've asked to speak to the maintenance person. The maintenance person's never been there when I've been there. I've asked when the maintenance person would be there. Got told the time, went back another day, still wasn't there. I didn't know who else to talk to, so I gave Mark a ring yesterday. And that's how I've ended up here this afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Tracy. I've got a question from Mark.
Yep.
Right.
Thank you for coming on, Tracy. I've got a question for staff. Can we get an update on where this is at, and can we see if we can get that fixed sooner rather than later?
Yep. Yep. Oh, good. Cody.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention. I go to the pool most weeks and I haven't observed that, not usually down that end.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask separately to that, have you noticed that there's sometimes issues within changing rooms as well, in terms of the cleanliness and so on? Is that an issue you faced or no?
No, there's only once.
Yeah.
No, most of the time it's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, good. It's not slippery.
No, not slippery. No, there's only times we're
Yeah.
told we can't go in the changing room because we've got there at the times and they're going to clean it, which is a pain really when you've got a big group of people.
Yes.
Okay.
So we just made sure that we get there a bit earlier.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So thank you very much, Tracy, for bringing this to our attention, because the board really needs to know all of these things, and we will ask staff to update us on this, and hopefully we get some quick action on this soon, and we'll let you know. Thank you very
Really
much.
good, thanks.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yes.
And how's Hank, by the way?
Right,
Actually, good.
that all from the public forum that we've got? Yes, it's okay, now we move on to the deputations by appointment, and we have got Chris Horn and Anne McWhirter will address the board on behalf of the Wholesale Community Project Committee in relation to the Waipuna Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton Community Board Plan Report. Please come forward, Chris and Anne, and welcome. And you have 10 minutes to speak, including questions and answers.
Right. Okay. I don't really want to take up a lot of your time. We liked bits of your plan and didn't like other bits of your plan. So we liked the bits, the vision sounded really good. But we actually really thought your priorities didn't quite match that and wasn't going to achieve the vision that's on the plan. And it also completely ignored all the stuff that came out of the community meeting. So we wondered why were the community meetings even a thing, to talk about what the priorities might be for Horswell and for Riccarton and Hornby, but that we're particularly focused on Horswell and so speak to that more than to the other two wards. I work in Addington and I had a look at the Waihoro plan, and I really liked what they'd done. And it's not to say you have to be the same, everybody's different for sure, but I really liked what they had was a bunch of priorities that went right across the three wards. And I kind of felt like they were hanging together as a board and that they were working together as a board. And the plan that I saw here made me feel it's all a bit fragmented. So I'd quite like to see the plan be a bit more sort of, one, not to undersell the work you do, because you are underselling the work that you all do, and looking across a whole range of priorities instead of just focusing, say, on 2 traffic projects that, yes, we need them done, but actually we really need some other stuff as well. Our community is important. It's growing. It's still growing really fast. It's incredibly diverse, and we really need some work done on that. So yeah, those are the things that I think I wanted to kind of highlight, but it's all in here.
And
Actually agree with everything that Chris says. And well, my question of the board would be, you know, where did the priorities, because I agree that the overall focus of the plan is good, but it's just a complete mismatch with the priorities, if you like, with that overall focus. And I kind of just wondered where those priorities kind of rose up from, because they didn't appear at the consultation meetings, as I understand it. I wasn't there, but I don't think they did. So that would be my question of the board.
Right, and thank you. Right, so you're all done?
Yeah.
Okay, questions? I've got questions from Cody, Debbie, and then Andre. Cody, go ahead, please.
Thank you for coming in. One of the things you mentioned was around the diversity. So what would be a community priority that you would have added in there instead, and maybe which one would you have taken out?
I think we had a community priority around connecting people across cultures. We've mentioned it here, or increasing community connections. So yeah, I think and taking out, I think the two traffic ones could actually go under a transport priority. I think that would make sense. That's the one for Halswell, but this transport thing's right across the ward that you could put all under one, you know, transport priority. You could have two transport priorities. You could have one for roads and cars, and you could have one for active transport. And I'd like to see both of those things in Halswell too. So, and you know, you've got them and you've got some of those things in other wards. And you've also got like community facilities in other wards. Well, ours are getting increasingly well used because our community is growing so fast and the numbers of facilities haven't grown. So we need to really think about how we optimise, and that was one of the things that came out of the community meeting, how we optimise their use.
Okay. You did talk about in your submission as well quite a lot about active transport. So if I'm thinking just about walking specifically, so one of the priorities that was raised at our last meeting was about the importance of I think it was Cashmere and Sutherland's Road footpaths. Since then, I've asked a question of staff and found out that Mills Road, for example, won't actually have a footpath, potentially on one of the sites that the new school would be. How would you prioritise those? Would you prioritise Mills Road over Cashmere and Sutherland's, for example?
Probably if there's a school on it, because kids need to be able to move safely, and if they can't, it just increases car traffic. And you know, we've got an oil crisis at the moment, so people don't need to use their cars unnecessarily.
And I think just lastly as well, so on the transport one, so there is some funding in the long-term plan for like local cycling networks as well. And you need to talk about cycling a bit as well. Where would you see that we would implement that, for example, when the time would come?
Well, you know, it would be nice if the Quarryman's Trail actually went to the quarry. It would be quite good to connect key activity areas. So we've got good cycling facilities that connect and make it so that kids can bike to school, or the kids can get to the supermarket, or the kids can get to sport in the domain. There are some bits and pieces there, but they don't kind of connect up. And even if, you know, even if there's a few sharrows put in around some of the quieter streets, but it's just highlighting, you're making it safer for kids and older people, actually. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Cody. I've got now Debbie. Go ahead, please, Debbie.
Sorry, Marie, I must have put my hand up by mistake.
Oh, okay. Andre.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the key thing to come from those workshops, and I was at both, was transport, and I remember it being circled in big letters. And you talked about active travel. So if we take Cashmere Road, there's nowhere to walk. Cyclists are in a very precarious situation cycling along there, right? If we take Dunbar's Road, there's a big section of Dunbar's Road below the bridge with no path whatsoever and no place to cross. So we've got a retirement village in Wigram at Somerset, really poorly connected to facilities like Westlake, for example.
I disagree with having it there. Just feel like the focus is so narrow.
Yeah.
You know, that.
So are you familiar that we're supposed to identify 3 projects, and that doesn't mean that they are the only thing this board is doing. But that it's the purpose is to identify 3 key projects. Some have identified a lot more than 3, which they can do. In my view, that dilutes it. Whereas this is things you really need to get into the long-term plan, start collecting development contributions for them now, because they will need to be done eventually. So a few different ways you can look at it. But in terms of like supporting diverse communities and community connection, these types of things, would you agree we should be doing those every day of the week, and they shouldn't need to be listed in there as something, as a specific project? Because that's in our vision statement.
Yeah, it is.
Those things are in here as the overarching things, right?
Priorities don't seem to match the vision, so it is in your vision. Agree,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But when again, you know, I'm just kind of going on the way other boards have talked about this stuff, and they have had those kinds of priorities in there as well. So it's a both and, not a either or. I just think you really undersell the work you do with this plan. I don't think it highlights all the things that the community board does.
Oh, no, it doesn't, and it never will. If you're identifying 3 projects that aren't currently on a long-term plan, for example, and you want to get them there and use this as leverage to do it, you're never going to be able to list everything that you want to be doing.
Clearly
So we can list, you know, connecting communities, but that's not necessarily a tangible item for me to then have in the long-term plan and start collecting contributions for or have plans.
Yeah,
That is something that we should be doing at all times anyway. I
feel kind of like the opposite of that, that if you don't have these things in your plan, then the sorts of strengthening community stuff can be taken out of the long-term plan. You know, it just kind of highlights that it's not that important really. And I think it is really important, and I think it's really important in an area that's growing a lot. And I think our community facilities are really important.
But do you believe that strengthening communities funding is based in any way, shape, or form what our board has put in one of our priorities? Because I can assure you it's not in any way, shape, or form. Not one bit. They don't look at that and say Halswell's got, you know, supporting communities. Now we can't touch strengthening communities funding. It just does not work like that in any way. Yeah. So
as long as it stays, that's fine.
Yep.
So but I guess
2 seconds.
cool. But in terms of active travel, I'm struggling to think of bigger priorities than safety along sections of Dunbar's Road. There's an entire section that isn't safe to bike, for example. Get around, don't know where to walk. And then Nichols. I'm struggling to think of development-led stuff aside. I'm struggling to think of active travel projects that would take priority over those ones.
Mills Road, what's that school?
That's all being built by developers. So that's all underway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that won't need to be a project I need to get in the long-term plan. Yeah, because it's already underway by developers, right?
And it's also schools not that well connected in terms of active transport.
Absolutely right.
So I think that's really important, and it's, you know, it's the oldest school in Norfolk.
And that's why I've brought a petition to NZTA with 1,560.
All right, thank you for that. I'm sorry we've run out of time, but thank you for coming to the board. And I've got next James Meller on behalf of the
And Nick.
and Nick Bell on behalf of the Christchurch BMX Club Committee, who will address the board in relation to the Kyle Park lease application, Christchurch BMX Club Incorporated report. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
James and Nick, you have 10 minutes, including answers, questions and answers.
Thank you. Nick's got a wee slideshow that we're just going to run through.
Cool.
So this is us. Last night's count, we had about 105 members, ranging from 3 to 63, thereabouts. So we've got our little paradise in the corner of the park there. We're obviously in the 70s to the 90s. I think we changed the track about 2000 and something, early 2000s.
We're just sharing it with those who are online. Sorry, you're all good now.
Yep. Go now. Yep.
No,
Stop.
Click is not working.
You just introduce yourself and walk in. It's online so that they can see your presentation.
Anyway, so we've got 100 members. So what we're trying to do is bring the 2029 Nationals, BMX New Zealand Nationals, to our club, our track. And last count at Nationals, there was about 850 riders at the latest one in Te Awamutu. So we really want to do that for our club and our community and our riders to bring the Nationals home, so our kids have a better chance of winning it, and myself. That's okay. Basically, our goals are a start hill cover for keeping our riders out the sun. Drinking fountain would be really, really cool. A clubhouse where we could get rid of containers and actually call home in essence, and potentially sorting out the park or parking or something, so we don't have kids running across main arterial route, carrying a bike and gear, because that's my biggest fear, is someone's going to get collected. So basically, we want to stay where we are. We want to keep riding bikes where we are. We don't want to dig holes. If we're going to adjust the track, we're going to put it on top. We want to ideally put a grandstand down where the so-called asbestos is. Maybe a 100-seat grandstand, something along those lines would be cool. It's all leading up to the 2029 Nationals. So this is us now, obviously.
30 years?
I think we're about 44 years as a club now. So this is obviously us, what we are now. We've put quite a bit of work on planting and trying to keep it tidy. It looks okay from the road. There's a few weeds in the grass when you get up close. So we ride generally on a Sunday, a Tuesday and a Thursday, and there could be more nights or more days in there as well. So yeah, that's sort of us. And can we please stay where we are and enjoy our sport?
Absolutely.
I think we've bit off a few things already, but I'll just about ourselves, about the Tuesday practices and stuff, the events we run, running clinics and stuff. The moment I said James has already gone through a bit of a pop list about repairing the gate and getting that going, because we don't have a gate, we don't have racing. Start hill cover for protection for people. This is an example of one down in Cromwell. So it's not a huge thing, but it's like a shed with just a roof, pretty much, just to provide you with protection. Carport, yeah. Future, as we were saying, James was saying before, about on one side of the track, you'll see the fenced area in the photo on the left here. We hope to envisage a nice green bank, because a lot of people come down to the park during the week that aren't even involved with the club, and you see them sitting around the grass and hanging out and using the track, or just having lunch. And as James mentioned, there's an area which is a little bit wasted with the contamination over there, that the club would actually like to help to turn around and make it usable for the community, with a encapsulate the asbestos underneath with soil or something, can get more plantings in the back, make it a nice tree area, even maybe, as I say, a little stand where people can sit. Something we're keen to flag up there and see if people want to get involved with, and let us do it with them. As a club, we really hope to create one of the best tracks in New Zealand. I'm personally involved with sports coverage, and you've got your tier 1 and 2 sports, your rugby and stuff, and BMXing is actually a really great sport to watch and get involved with. And I've found that with my kids getting involved, like, I want to help it. And they're always going to be 3rd tier, 4th tier with New Zealand sport. There's nothing wrong with that. But Olympic sport, we can make a track that's actually better than up in up north. You've got the Olympic base up near the Karapira and stuff. And
Cambridge, our track.
Cambridge is
like facility.
New Zealand track.
It's far better.
Our track is much better. And I'm pushing at the moment a lot of technology into our track, which can make us even better than any other place in New Zealand. We want to invest in our track. At the same time, we'll be investing in our community with the embankment and stuff like that, and make the facility better for people to use and enjoy. Develop our infrastructure a lot more. One thing is, as any sport will find these days, volunteers are a struggle to get. and we want to make the sport easier to like turn up, press go, rather than turn up and have 2 or 3 people have to lift something, move something, put up safety barriers. Let's keep it easy. We're also, this is very early on, but we want to propose to create a cycle hub down once we get our track all hopefully at least, and we can stay there for longer. Cycle hub with the velodrome. Funny enough, a lot of track racing and stuff,
They start in BMX.
yeah, they steal BMXs, let's put it that way.
They really do.
Because there's a lot of power involved with BMX. So for them, it's a great training ground. And we're like, well, why don't we, if we're going to make our facility amazing, why don't we work with them and share our knowledge, share our skills and stuff like that, push it through. And then this is our last one, as James mentioned on the Waipuna Nationals. We want to bring the biggest BMX event in New Zealand to Cole Park and showcase it to the community and the rest of New Zealand. As a club, we're about to submit a proposal for the 2029 Nationals. It brings 700 plus riders to Cole Park and the track. Most of the riders come to the event for at least 4 nights, 5 nights, so potential 2,800 accommodation nights in the area. A lot of money in the community. Local food vendors, facilities like the Hornby Community Centre. They can use the pool, invest money in there, spend some money. The event will bring thousands of dollars to the local community. And here's a little video of what we're trying.
700 plus of New Zealand's best riders come together to see who rules the south. From the tip of the north, where the Tasman meets the Pacific, to Bluff, where the ruggedness brings untouched landscapes. Through the North and South Islands, Otautahi being the destination of your travels. Glory, momentum, a chance to impress as individuals strive for their goals. Welcome to the home of the 2029 BMX New Zealand Nationals, Otautahi, Christchurch City BMX.
Awesome.
Great. Thank you very much.
Going to the Worlds in a few weeks, and he should go very good.
Cool.
Great. Thank you very much, Nick and James. And it's very great. It's great to hear from the clubs all the time what activities you have exciting for us, for the children as well, for our young people. And we have got 1.5 minutes left, but I've got questions from Mark, Cody, and Joseph. We'll try to squeeze them in. Quick questions, please.
Cool. Mine's pretty much referring a whole lot of that stuff to staff to help them any way we can with all their dreams and visions. So hopefully we can get a lot of that captured. Some of the things that are really important, drinking fountain for the track would be really good. The toilets on the park are pretty scungy, scary. But yeah, if we can get the events team even working with them on that, amazing.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Cody.
Yeah, thank you. There is a signalised crossing at High Road, but you did mention that you're concerned about the safety of people crossing. Where was that specifically?
When they park on Waterloo Road. They park on the side of Waterloo Road, mate.
Yeah.
And they take their bikes off and
And they don't walk up to the crossing.
no, they don't use the crossing at all, mate.
Okay,
It's too far away.
sweet. And just in terms of your funding, how are you funding all of this? It seems quite ambitious.
We're currently working with a Go Gravy funding agency. They're helping us find funding through different different chains. Really, you can go like pub charities and things like that.
Yeah,
We,
fantastic.
But also there's plans to talk directly to some sponsors. You know, got some connections with Mitsubishi, hopefully, and things like that. But to understand the lease coming up, we can't go, and we haven't actually got the nationals yet, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a proposal go at the end of 25th of June. It's due. If we get it, then we'll be ramping this up a bit more. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Just a quick one from Joseph.
Thanks for coming in. Sorry about the tech issues. So just confirming, basically, my understanding of what you're saying is you've got big plans for the site. It would be disruptive if you were moved off it, and you want to keep on doing these things.
Stay where we are and keep riding bikes.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you very much, and hopefully we can get the nationals up and running. 2029. Right. Cool. Thank you. Yes. Right. I've got Lynn Hucklebridge on behalf of the Hornby Rugby Club will address the board in relation to the Denton Park removal of gum tree report. Welcome, Lynn.
Thank you.
And you have 10 minutes, including questions and answers.
Okay. I'm Lynn Hucklebridge. I'm life member of the Hornby Rugby Club. Apologies from Roger Bremner, president. He couldn't be here today because of work commitments. Back in 2018, I made a request that the tree be removed because it's impacting on our air shed. In the report, it says that it's got low significant, based on the Christchurch City Council. It's not low, it's impacting on our gear shed considerably, and the handouts I've just given the board in 2020, the tree was in a certain position, but in 2025, it has grown so much. It is, back in 2020, it was scratching the blocks on the shed, and it's encompassed the railing for the pedestrians, the concrete abutment in the car park. It's pushing the shed. It has got an incredible big tongue on this tree. It is a nice tree, I give the council that, but it's not appropriate anymore. And it's right beside the council pump station. So I'd hate to think what the root structure and that is doing to the pumping station that is in Denton Park. There is considerable leaf litter involved with this tree. Like every 2 weeks, I'm down there with my bags, sweeping up the leaf litter because it blocks the drains. When it blocks the drains and it rains, it floods the gear shed. It also leaf litters in the sushi car park in Valentine's. We're not the only car park that is involved. They council say in 3.9 that it doesn't impact the use of the shed. Well, I consider that the damage it's doing to the shed, it's not safe for our members to be in that shed because it is going to give way one day soon. So yes, and who is going to pay for the damage to the shed then? Rugby club don't have a lot of money. A council going to pop up and remediate the shed? Who knows? Frequently there's big branches break off it. Some I cut up and take away because council staff don't take them away. They don't bother cleaning up the car park. In the photos, it shows the drains that are continually blocked in the car park with the leaves. I have to contact council to get those drains cleaned. It's not done automatically. So this poor tree that is very healthy and very nice is causing a lot of problems in the that corner of the park. Now, council staff say that it's the only big tree on that side of the park. Yes, it is. And that they had taken out a whole lot of other trees on the other side of the park, which they did, but that was a separate issue with pollens, and they've replanted. Now, some of those plantings were ridiculous because they planted on our dead ball line in the rugby fields. They planted on the cricket boundaries, so which impeded the sporting activities that take place on the park. So those trees were removed and planted elsewhere. But then some of the plants, they weren't looked after as per all the ones around the oval. The maintenance is very poor in this area. And those trees around the oval are very large now. They're dangerous, branches fall off them. But the new plantings they did last year, because they weren't weeded or anything, the mower man come and mowed over them. So that was an absolute waste of money in planting those rhododendrons and everything that they did. I'm all for trees, but appropriately and to be looked after. Yeah, so our thing is that we would like the tree removed because of the impact it is on the gear shed and our resources. It's ruined our guttering on our club rooms, the roof of the gear shed. And if it is taken out, I'd like to see the timber go to either the shed or something appropriate like that it can be useful, or that the rugby club can sell it for firewood. But yeah.
All right.
So I don't know if there's any questions.
Yes, thank you very much, Lynn. I've got a question from Cody and Andre and Mark.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in. This may be a silly question, but would it be feasible to move the building? Is that something that's been considered?
Where?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking the question.
The footprint of our club rooms, I understand in our lease that we pay rates and everything on, is from the entranceway of the club rooms across the car park, and we pay rates on that whole piece that goes down to where the tree and the gear shed is. No, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. And you mentioned that it floods the gear shed. Did I understand that right? So it actually comes into the shed?
We lip, the floor is up about that far at the doorway.
Yeah.
So when these drains block, and
which is often,
yeah, and there's excessive rain, the water backflows and into the shed there. You can see in one of the photos how close the drain is to the door.
Yep. Okay. And just for clarity, the trees that were improperly planted, has that been remediated now, or are they all gone from
They have. I included the absurdity of the council when they dug out for the new plantings. They dumped the soil and rubbish around the back of our gear shed and along the back of by the tree. And when I asked for it to be removed, the guy seemed very hesitant. So I told him I would remove it and I would take it bag by bag into council offices and drop it off there.
No,
we don't need that.
No, that's not very good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cody. Andre.
No, you've answered my question. Thank you very much.
Mark.
So you'd be keen for us to look at removing the tree?
I would.
I did notice in the report there was a section here mentioning about paying, and it says that the board may resolve with the applicant to pay, but I'll be hoping that we wouldn't do that as a board. You wouldn't be in a position to pay that as a
We
company.
wouldn't be able to pay to remove that tree. It'd be thousands of dollars for Tree Tech to come and remove that tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll try and avoid that situation if we can. And of course, you'll be keen for us to see if we can get those sods removed to tidy up the back of the gear sheds there.
I have a lot of it is removed now.
Right.
That nice ranger man, whoever he was, did remove some, and I have removed a lot. Yeah, and it's like a lot of the rubbish, all those bags of rubbish go home with me and put through the domestic
green waste
to get rid of it. And that's what I've been doing for years around the club.
thank you for what you do, Lynn. It's truly appreciated.
Well,
All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Lynn.
thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you for listening.
Nobody else? Nobody else? Well done.
No.
Robin, Robin?
No,
Yeah, good.
my question or things will be resolved by the sound of it at the end of this
Right.
meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We do not have any presentation of petitions, so we will move on to the staff reports. Kyle Parkley's application, Christchurch BMX Club. Welcome, Pete and Paris.
Engagement.
All right. Come forward, please.
Can I move? I'll move that one.
Moved by Cody, seconded by Mark. And yep,
Presentation.
we'll take it as read. Do you have any questions to Pete? Cody?
Yeah, that's the one. Sometimes clubs will come to council for a lease to get something, I don't know, power, fibre installed to their premises. Is this going to cover for that, or will they need to come back to us again?
They will need to come back.
Can we avoid that?
Well, it was discussed with the club and it was identified as an aspirational project and something that was some uncertainty about.
Yep.
The lease covers their key priority projects that they've got on their club plan.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you.
So any other questions? Mark?
Yeah, just teasing that fibre question a little further. Well, when I've been speaking to the club in recent times, they've been talking about perhaps getting a Wi-Fi link from the Maratiki Hornby Centre.
Yeah,
is that,
yeah.
Is that something that we could explore with them?
Oh, it's certainly something that could be explored, and I understand it is being explored.
Good.
Certainly would do all we could to allow that to be happen in terms of the lease and the use of the park.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be big footprint or a big structure or anything on the park. It's the construction phase that just didn't need to be managed. Yeah.
And then with this lease, would down the track as they perhaps develop some of their aspirations, would it be fairly simple to look at making alterations to the lease to take in more footprint if that be required?
Really open to ideas. It really depends on the scale of the footprint and if that footprint includes areas that are used by other park users, which doesn't seem to be especially highly used.
No.
We've heard from James and they'd like to look at some seating of the land that is got asbestos in it.
Yeah.
So as we've talked with the club and James and Nick quite a bit, that will involve a fair bit of discussion and design detail about how that's going to be implemented and put in if some seating can be done. That is some of that land is all of that area for the seating is outside this lease area.
Yep.
So need a variation or change to the lease, which would likely, because that is a significant additional footprint, probably likely be determined that some more engagement's needed for that.
Right, cool. And with that sort of grandstand thought that they've had, we've of course got the Apollo Project Stadium, which is likely to be dismantled fairly shortly. And I wonder whether that's something for that internally in council departments, we have a bit of a think on perhaps utilising some of that resource.
That's great. And that sounds fantastic. If I've heard that there's also other seating from other stadium that they're already onto. So
cool.
I'm sure that maybe could come from a variety of locations. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you for your work on this.
Thank you.
Right. Any other questions online on Zoom? Nobody? Now I'll ask staff to leave the table and thank you, Pete and Paris.
Staff recommendation move.
Yes, so I've noted that recommendations moved by Cody and seconded by Mark. I will now put the motion.
Could we perhaps
Mark?
speak to this quickly?
Right, debate. Yes.
Do you want to say anything? Cool. Hey, I just want to really thank staff for their work on this. Thanks for the club for sticking in there and getting through to today. And really looking forward to working on your wish list with yourselves and staff and what we can develop out there in this corner of the park, which is, it's a real gem having the BMX club
Mm.
in Hornby. And I know as a community, we really appreciate it being there. And as a community, we're really keen to help you in any way we can to thrive. So looking forward to today and hopefully getting this lease confirmed for another, was it 11 plus 11 plus 11, 33 years. So that'll put you in good stead going forward, that we can support the BMX and hopefully even your thoughts about the cycling hub. I think that was ingenious. I'd love to be able to tease that out some further and see if we can't really take the whole cycling sport to another level in Hornby and in Christchurch and even in Canterbury, New Zealand. Get those nationals down here and let's make it a real event. Supercars of BMX. So really keen to support this today and hopefully we get the right result.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Anybody else want to say anything? No, I'll put the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Against? Carry. Thank you.
Thanks, team.
Thank you.
Now we move on to the next, the various tree planting plans. May I call on Jason, please? Welcome, Jason and Toby. Right. Do you have a presentation or are you taking this read?
No presentation, take as read.
All right. Any questions for the staff? Mark.
Just one quick question. There was a resident on, it was either Glencare or Rannoch, which I believe you've met with and taken out 3 trees on the back of that.
Yep, so I can confirm that the 3 trees that were requested in the submission from that resident were removed from the plan.
Yep.
That's shown in the bulk of the report.
Yep, and I'm sure that same resident probably shared her thoughts about the lack of upkeep on the existing plantings in the drainage reserve. And hopefully that's been referred to perhaps the Three Waters team or someone to see if we can't.
Correct, yeah, I've passed on any of those submissions that maintenance requests have been passed on to the councils and Three Waters drainage maintenance team. And I believe they've started some of that work and John Oliver that we spoke about last week. So I think there's some progress in that space.
Excellent, thank you.
And thank you, Mark. Cody.
Thank you. I'm a little bit confused because what we just heard from Lynn earlier told us that there was a significant tree planting undertaken at Denton Park and then not maintained, subsequently run over by a lawnmower at Leeson Park. We seem to be told that they'll be maintained for 7 years, but it sounds like they didn't even make it for maybe 18 months, for example. How does this happen?
Okay, so yes, there were some trees that did. I do know of a few trees that got hit by mowers. I don't know if it was those. So what happens when they get hit by mowers, we don't put them back in because we have to wait till the planting season. So they get replaced in the planting season. They are getting watered once a week. So we've got records of them being watered. They're getting weeded. They're getting mulched. But we have had a very wet summer where nothing stopped growing in spring. So during that time, they were getting watered. They were still getting weeded, but weeds, they were just weeds essentially. And then they come in and they remulch them. So they've all been remulched as well.
Right.
Thank you.
Anybody else has any further questions? Okay, I will now ask staff to leave the table. And I am happy to move the tree planting plans. Any seconder? Mark? Any debate? No? Yep, I'll put the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Now, item number 9, Nash Reserve Tree Planting Plan. Toby, right? Question from Andre.
I have got one thing to quickly add.
Okay.
The gentleman here has just highlighted he lives at number 2 Genety Lane.
That's correct.
Yeah, and he's asked for the trees at the back of his property to not be planted in that space, which I think there's 4. So I'm happy for that to be in the resolution if you'd like to add it.
How are we going to describe those trees?
The trees at the back of number 2 Genety Lane, 4 trees.
Are they shown on the plan?
Yep.
Give me a minute.
So we'll just amend the
believe the plans are to.
recommendation?
I think those questions very well.
All right, I've got questions from Cody and then Andre.
Thank you. I did email through, there was some reference to a path that was in there, I didn't get a response on that. Is this plan incorporating
Yes, so
that design?
yeah, there is space for that path. I was trying to send you an image showing where the path is going and where the proposed trees were. I just didn't quite get it down.
That's fine.
But yes, that is accountable.
Okay, and let's also be planting within the playground or no? The Bronco playground, because that was part of that design. I'm just thinking, you mentioned to us previously having to come back and water weekly when they get off schedule.
Yeah.
That could be a problem. Would it be worthwhile to plant in there at the same time?
Playground?
That was part of the proposed path, was including that, planting that playground.
On the other side.
So if you've got, sort of through here, it's just at the top.
I have not included that in part of the plan. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would it be something you could consider?
We would put it into one of the planting plans. Yep. So all the parks are on a cycle to get a planting plan put through for them. Generally what happens is when the playground is getting designed, if the playground's getting designed, we incorporate the tree planting into that. And then we'll to you to do both of those at the same time. If the path goes in, I'm sure they'll be coming to you for the path anyway. And at that same time, we'll get the planting there.
So I guess you'd say it's not required right now? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All good, Cody?
Mhm.
Thank you. Andre?
No, all good.
All good. Oh, any other questions? None? I'll ask Cody, Toby to please leave the table. And I'm also happy to move the tree planting plan for Nash Reserve, seconded by Cody.
Just by
Oh,
that, because we've
Oh,
got to do the change.
change the, there's an amendment. There's a recommendation.
Well,
Do we want,
all these trees can pay for the cost of removing one at Hornby-Riccarton.
Cheaper than building a gear shed.
Yes.
trees, are they?
This one.
this one?
This plan?
Is it, Toby?
Yeah, sorry.
Is it this plan?
This one, referring to? Which of the trees that are coming now?
So I think he is here and it's those ones there. But if it's just at the back, he's the only property that borders it, so.
But it's got to be described.
Yeah, but we can describe at the back of.
No, that's not shown on the plan. It's got to be the address on the plan. We have to do that on the plan.
Was it 4 small trees?
3 small trees.
4.
4?
4?
Yeah, we can say 4 small trees at the back.
North
At the back
of-
of
the trees.
The address isn't shown on the plan, so it doesn't describe it.
Can you show me the?
Yeah, I think that's one. It's that one. It's right there.
That's these 4 here.
Small floor.
It doesn't, we have to be able to describe it, so that somebody
I
intended.
think if you say
They can say, oh yeah, those were. the trees."
behind two.
Won't they know the address?
No,
No,
because the
so-
address isn't shown on the plan.
Can we just say,
Okay.
can we just say 4 small trees in bottom right, because it's actually, it's.
It's all medium.
Don't worry, we'll get rid of
All
them.
right.
Exactly. We'll get rid of them.
It's only-
Might come to that.
I don't think any of the other plans have the address on them. The landscape architect puts the address on them.
No, could any of these, no?
No, but at least those ones, that one at the bottom shows the 4 small.
Yeah.
Two genetic.
4.
Yeah. Small trees.
In the bottom right of the plan.
Yeah.
Indicated on the bottom right of the plan.
Yeah,
Is it
and
the only
that
one
one.
on the bottom right?
The small 4 small
So we
trees.
have to
There
refer
is
to
also that one. But
It's the bottom.
we could say on the very bottom one.
Small trees, aren't they?
Can we write the 4 small trees at the back of GMC as indicated on the bottom right of the plan?
Pretty clear.
We haven't even got a plane number.
Yeah, you did the PDF here, can you? Just put a circle on the
There's sheet 8. Oh, what's this?
No, we can't. It is a calendar.
They're actually labelled as separately 4 small trees, aren't they?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit label, but the bottom.
Yeah.
The trees on the bottom right.
4 small trees on the indicated on the bottom right of the plan. On the bottom right. Where there's the.
Do you have a way that you could describe it, though?
Source.
Pardon?
Loads big.
We exit.
You have a-
No, I don't.
I think if you put the address as well, just put the address, but then,
Two
but
Jennifer.
still put both, so like it has. But when you're looking at the map, it's still overlaid.
Hope you understand. You know all about them, so. We cover it generally before.
So if you did both, well, you put the
Just both.
Must be a private.
Yeah, it's basically all overlaid.
So the bottom right of the plan.
Closer. Google Map, here is no. Sort of nice house.
On page one of the report.
Heath couldn't rain. Basically, couldn't rain at that stage.
Yeah.
Looks horrible. It very rarely gets flooded.
Yeah, identify shown the bottom right. The bottom right of the plan on page. What's the plan number? Hang on. Sorry. Yeah. No worries. Oh, okay.
You want the page number? Do you need the page?
Drawing number 467-2500. 467-2500.
All small trees outside.
Dash AL, capital AL.
Yeah.
Dash capital NR. And November Romeo.
No, I don't. Oh, wait, I need all of them.
And NR dash 006.
NR
Dash. NR dash 006. That's the one. And that's is it showing the screen?
No, I'm just afraid at the moment.
Actually, L. Oh, 62500, so A, L, E, those are double zeros.
But that's the one, it's got an R on the plan itself.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on the plan itself.
Yeah, that's correct.
We will use what's on the plan itself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, gotcha.
So 467-2500-ALNR006.
So just to be clear, what we're approving now is the tree planting plan for Nash Reserve included in attachment A, but excluding the 4 small trees shown on the bottom right of plan 467-2500 ALNR 006.
We'll put it outside.
Are you happy with that? You moved it, Marie, and
Yes, I'm happy to move and seconded by Cody.
Mark.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Mark.
Oh,
No, it was Cody.
it was Cody.
Yep.
Mark was asking something.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, all right. So that's all clear?
Yep.
And right, so I'll put the motion,
I was.
debate. Okay, Andre will speak to it.
Yeah, I'll just speak very briefly. Well, once again, I think staff have done an amazing job of taking into concerns and residents and somebody sorting them out. And took time to meet with the residents. Yeah, I think they've done a great job once again. I just for me personally, it's just not something I can support. It's not a priority for our area. There's so many core basic things that we're really struggling to keep up with around Halswell. I just can't justify the spend or cost. This area will be less, I believe, less used as a result of the trees. It's a drainage reserve, right? So it's wet a lot of the year. So more trees mean less sun, and less drying out of the grass. So yeah, I just believe it's going to lead to the facility use a bit less. will be good to have more trees, but it's not something the community appear to be asking us for. There don't appear to be submissions in support. So it's just not something I can personally justify support at this time. Thanks.
Right, Mark, you want to say something?
Yep. I also thank the team for the work you do with the residents around these plantings. It's fantastic that when issues are raised that you respond so positively and you know, adjust your plans accordingly. I truly appreciate that. And as opposed to my colleague here, I can see the value in raising this tree canopy. It's a priority for all of council to raise Christchurch's tree canopy. The southwest, we do have a low number. There's good reasons for that, but every bit of planting we can get in there is worthwhile. So thank you for what you're doing and keep up the good work.
Right, and I would also like to thank you, Toby and Jason, for addressing the concerns of the residents, because I have also met with the residents here in along Nash Reserve, and I see that you have addressed all their concerns, and thank you very much for doing that. Right, I will put the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against?
No.
Andre.
Want that recorded, Andre?
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right, carried. Thank you. We now move on to item number 10, Denton Park removal of gum tree. Welcome back, Toby. And we'll take it as read. Any questions for Toby? Mark?
Toby, you did mention your report about the hairline cracking in the gear shed. I would be picking that if we left this tree in, it would look at the tree expands, the cracking is going to become bigger with time. Would it be wise to look at perhaps taking the tree out now before it actually damages the gear shed to the dangerous level?
So whilst the tree's expanding, it's not necessarily pushing. So it's quite common for trees to wrap around. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's putting pressure on it, or it's going to lift it, or it's going to put pressure. It depends on the space it has available to it. So when we look at, for example, a berm where a tree is in a very confined soil environment and can't break out of it, then we can tend to get that lifting a lot more in that pressure where it grows out. Where you've got a tree with more space to grow out in other directions, it will grow around things, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's putting pressure on it. I see the point. Whether that tree will be there in the long term as permanent and whether it would survive there, I don't know. At the moment, it's healthy. At the moment, I can't see damage or actual pressure on it. That cracking is hairline cracking. So remember my opinions and my recommendations are from the arborist to me, which is from the point of view of the tree. The tree's not causing significant damage to the building. The tree's healthy. The tree's a nice, healthy tree. Yeah.
Would we have any way of knowing what the roots are doing with a tree like that? I mean, it was mentioned about the water infrastructure well right next to it as well.
We don't know, but tree root damage to underground infrastructure is actually quite rare. It is more common in old pipes. So you will get old seams where tree roots can get into, those old clay pipes and things, but new pipes don't break. Trees don't actually have the strength or the ability to break into a pipe. But what they do have the ability to is when there is a break in a pipe or a crack, and they can infiltrate that and they can make that crack worse. Yeah. So whilst I don't know exactly what's happening with the roots, it's unlikely to be a concern.
Very good. Cool.
That's it.
Thank you.
Cody, you have any question? No? Mark?
I'm not so much a question. I'd like to move for the removal of the tree rather than retaining.
Any seconder? Andre first. Well, just one last question. Has there been any precedent of a removal of a tree that was paid for by council?
was paid for.
Was, and not,
Yep, council removes and pays for trees all the time, yes.
but at the request of the community.
At the request of the community, yes, there has been as well.
Right, okay, thank you.
We've done.
Thank you, Toby. Oh, you have a
I
question?
just wondering if it's possible for us to resolve as part of the removal to look at a good use of the wood with the rugby club or men's shed or some other community organisation. Or is that going to happen automatically?
Oh, we can make that happen. I don't know if you need to make it a resolution as such. We can certainly just go and talk to them. Yeah. As far as using it for millable timber or the men's shed and things, there's some use for gum, but it does split. You need a place to store it. You need a place to dry it. So generally, finding a use case for something like gum is probably quite difficult in that sense. But for firewood, yes.
Make good firewood.
We donate to the Halls Rugby Club.
Thank you, Toby.
Everyone wins, right?
Yeah.
So
Hang on, Rickon
Mike
has
has moved
No.
to,
Yep, I'm just gonna put this
what's the alternative?
Two. I'm gonna look real anti-true by the end of the
Is that what you wanted, Mark? That's the cost of the Hornby Rugby Club.
No.
So,
No,
but
To remove,
it's option
Which
2 with
part?
the costs being met by community
Like
board.
council budgets.
Yeah.
well,
Parks tree.
Just take it out.
just
so-
take that out.
Yeah, just take from subject
Is that right now?
to tree removal. Yeah.
Removal of the gum tree on Eden Parks.
Yeah. Yep.
Removal of the gum tree, you described in the report. Is that right?
which would have spent 170 grand on trees the community weren't particularly keen on, so we've definitely got money to remove one.
So you happy with that, Andrew?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Happy with that? Okay.
right, well, moved by Mark, seconded by Andre, and so any debate? Cody and Mark.
Okay.
Yeah, having read the report and the policy, it's quite clear that this is the last resort. And I think we're probably not alone in saying that, well, the tree's not listed as being significant. I think, there's not that many that are that tall. And I do feel like it is significant. But that said, I think we can't discount the damage that is happening there, and so for that reason, we will support the removal.
Thank you, Cody. Mark?
Yeah, thank you for your assessment, Toby. Totally appreciate the work you put into it. Although in this case, hearing from the rugby club, I'm happy to try and support the rugby club and their activities. Thank you, Lynn, for cleaning up for all these years from the tree. Your green bin can have a holiday potentially after this comes out. So happy to support the rugby club with this. And we'll get some replacement trees planted, I'm sure, and probably fairly close proximity to where we are with any luck. But otherwise, we've had some good planting in Denton Park already. And if that already covers it, then so be it. That's great. But if we need to put some another place, then hey, make sure we get that tree canopy growing. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Mark. I will now put the motion. All those in favor on that amended one? Yep. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Thank you, everybody. We now move on to item number 11. DRF for the Phoenix Athletic Club, page 81. And hold on, Helen. Welcome, Helen.
Hello. I take the report as read. Does the board have any questions?
Any questions? No? All right, thank you, Helen. All right. Do I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Andre, seconded by Mark. Any debate? No? I'll put the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Now move on to item number 12, the community board plan. Bailey. Right?
Yes, so the draft was circulated. It should incorporate the changes that we discussed at our most recent information session, except which I did share when I sent it out that so we had discussed changing the template from projects to key project, from priorities to key projects for some of the reasons that Councillor Moore spoke to earlier during the deputations. I didn't change the priority because I still wanted the priorities within the board plan to hold that weight when you are advocating to the council. However, that is a board decision. But apart from that, I'm hoping all of the other changes should be captured in there.
Right. Thank you, Bailey. Any questions?
I'll also just add, sorry, that yeah, from here we'll go and work with staff. You know, it's what the board can put in their submissions to council. We will do monitoring reports back to the board every 6 months, earlier if needed. And if there are opportunities or something is achieved in the board plan, then we'll work with you on what that means for the remainder of the term and doing the workshopping. So yeah, I guess you're approving it today and then we'll go and do the work, but then there is opportunities for that conversation to keep going.
Thank you. I get questions from Cody and then Mark. Go ahead, please, Cody.
Just looking at what we've got. So Amy's Road is planned for a renewal to come. Awatea Road will actually be renewed. It's part of planned works as well, from what I understand. Dunbar's Road's listed there as well, and then we've got the gaps in Milnes Road. If I look at that, it's kind of a southwest corridor. If we did want to change priorities, we could probably just call that particular connection to say for one. I was not sure, and I hope someone can help me understand the Halswell Junction Road and Nichols Road intersection, the significance. I don't know enough about that to understand why that's a priority.
Well, I mean, because it's probably another 5,000 homes coming to Halswell, and it's already much like the Awatea and Springs Road situation.
Okay.
And indeed, Amy's is just getting that busy. That makes it an absolute nightmare to turn right. Traffic's already banking up a very, very long way down Nichols Road. It's also dicey for pedestrians having anywhere to cross, despite having a pedestrian refuge island. So all that combined, to throw another 5,000 houses in the mix, it's just going to get all that much busier. We'll know we're going to need to have to upgrade that intersection one way or the other in the future. So the logic is start collecting development contributions for it now,
get ahead of the game,
rather than end up like in Amy Springs, where we should have been collecting DCs for the last 20 years, 10 years towards it, but we haven't. So inevitably all the costs end up getting met by debt, extra borrowing and existing ratepayers having an extra burden. So the logic is we know we're going to have to do something eventually for both here and Dunbar's Road. So the logic is get it in the plans, so at least we can start collecting contributions from all of these thousands of new builds towards it.
Thank you.
Yeah, knowing what's obviously coming our way. Yeah. I mean, most of the other projects are either already sort of on the way, being met by developers, or or state highway already in the pipeline. So yeah, whereas that's going to be it's a biggie. It won't be cheap, but we may start getting it, and we won't be doing it anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it's crazy not to start collecting those DCs sooner rather than later to avoid that cost burden.
All good, Cody?
Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Mark, please.
Yeah, thank you, Bailey, for your work on this. And I'm pleased to see where we've landed on it. Well, there's one little thing that I need to perhaps amend it before we go to print. Amy's Road is spelled wrong.
The whole way through?
It should be A-M-Y rather than Ames.
I will update that.
That'd be great, thank you. But no, I think we've already made progress on a number of these matters, so it's going to be good in the coming months to see things being ticked off, and then having a discussion about, well, perhaps we can slot another priority in there. So thank you for your work, and do everything we can to progress all these and deliver a number of things to the community.
Right, any other questions? No? So do I have a mover? Mark? Seconded by Andre? Any debate? No?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, we'll provide a bit more context. Yeah, I guess these are very uncertain times, and if we're being honest, it appears unlikely that this community board in its current form will exist in a few years. And the merger announcements made that very clear. But meanwhile, life goes on. We have to keep making decisions, and our council's putting together a rates cap long-term plan, and that includes a scaled-back capital program, which leaves really little opportunity to get new things in this long-term plan. But despite all the uncertainty, what we do know around an area like Halswell is that the roads are going to get a lot busier, and that roads like Halls Junction Road and Nichols, that section is going to need an upgrade in time. Cashmere Road is going to need to not be falling apart, and Dunbar's Road has a whole lot needing to be done as well. So they're unsafe for pedestrians, they're unsafe for cyclists, and in the case of Halls Junction Road and Nichols, not safe for anyone. So there's things I know we're going to need to be doing, and what I want to do with these priorities is use them as leverage to try and get things in the long-term plan to start collecting development contributions from all these new builds. It has to be in the long-term plan for us to start extracting contributions from these new builds. It's a chicken and egg thing. And that's so not all the rating burden falls on ratepayers. Plenty good reasons behind it. I totally understand that these priorities are really boring. They're basic. They're not exciting at all. But the long-term plan we're about to put together is not going to be exciting. It's actually going to be really devastating for a lot of things. And there's actually no way around that. So instead of trying to get things in that long-term plan really soon, that possibly won't, trying to get things in the back end so we can start collecting contributions for it. That to me is the most logical thing to be doing at this point. And in my experience, we have to have really clear, tangible projects, and these three listed. In the past, we've gone backwards on things that we haven't been really clear on. Last term, we had safe connections, namely things like missing footpaths as one of our three priorities. But then after a long time waiting, staff brought a new path program back to us, which included no new paths in Halswell in 3 years. So these priorities actually only mean so much in practice. It's really our job as councillors to then use them as leverage. And my learnings have suggested you actually need to have really specific things in there. So as for supporting community facilities, supporting a growingly diverse and exploding population, that's something we should always be doing. It's something that I'm committed to doing, will always be committed to doing. And will never be any less of a priority just because it's not listed in one of these three things. I believe we really need to get in this long-term plan before it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you, Andre. Mark?
Yeah, I concur with Councillor Moore's summations there about the coming long-term plan. It's not going to be an easy one. And having things listed in our community board priorities here and in the plan is going to help us with leverage at council to hopefully pull more stuff through into that long-term plan, and will maybe survive the process of the long-term plan. So, certainly heard some commentary around some of the Hornby priorities perhaps not being as specific as some people would like, but I really appreciate the fact that we've got a comprehensive list there of a number of priorities, particularly in transport around Hornby. We've been suffering for a very long time with needing to have transport improvements. So hopefully we'll be able to work through this list and tick things off as we go, and actually get some serious delivery through this long-term plan and beyond. So thank you for your work, team, and thank you, Bailey and staff team as well. Appreciate it and look forward to getting stuck in and making some difference.
Thank you, Mark. Cody?
Yeah, thank you. I think, well, at least at a community board level, not privy to those discussions, so I don't doubt that they happen, to enable free and frank discussions. So I think the focus here is right. It is on things that are fairly basic. I think, at least in Hornby, we've been quite clear. The men's shed, we've listed out specific facilities that we'd like to see improved and specific transport improvements. My starting point for this was a list of probably more than 60 things, which we actually put together within a few days of the election results being confirmed. It's been very hard to focus these down to just a few things, because there will always be more things that people will want. People have all different priorities, and for some people, things are important, and for others, they're, you know, something that we can. I think you'd be really hard pressed to look at any of these, in fact, and say that they're nice to have. I think most of these are essential. And as Councillor Moore said, you know, probably a lot of them actually we should have had 10 plus years ago. I don't think that we've just taken 2023 and just find and replace and put 2026. I think we've given it a really good look. And again, just also to thank the staff for putting this together, because it's been a big piece of work to get to this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Cody. Anybody else? No? All right, I will put the motion. So subject to the spelling corrections of Amy's road.
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Carried.
Excellent. Good work, team.
Do you want to check? Okay. All right, thank you. We'll move on to the next item, number 13.
Happy to move.
Moved by Andre, seconded by Mark. Are there any discussions on these? None? All right, so I will no debate anything. I'll put the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you.
You make a nomination, did you?
Yes, Cody and Joseph were declared an interest.
No, Joe.
Good. All right.
Not the same interest.
Thank you. Item number 14, the committee board area report. Bailey.
I'll take this as read.
Move to accept that.
Moved by Joseph, seconded by Andre. Any questions? No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Right. Thank you. Elected members info session. I will just remind everybody about just 2 to 3 items probably, and we'll keep it short, please. I've got Mark and then Cody so far. Okay, Mark, go ahead.
2 to 3.
Yep. No, thank you. You're just wanting to bring up, I guess, a couple of issues that I've been working on. One of them is I've had some interesting comments made about the software and roundabout. So it's something which I'm looking to work with staff on. There's some interesting things going on around there. It's a gnarly roundabout that all of us have lived with for a lot of years, and when you hear some of the reports that are coming out, I'm keen to sort of work with staff on that one. Also, perhaps raise the fact that we had a really useful community hui at Ravensdown yesterday. Thanks to the GHRA for pulling that together. And certainly it's good to have that good relationship with one of our sort of major industries in Hornby. And looking forward to working further with them, and perhaps introducing some more of the elected members to Ravensdown as well. They certainly have their issues in the community, but it's good to be able to work with a major business like that and host them in the community. So looking forward to working with them going forward.
Right.
Thanks to the GHRA again for organising that.
All right, thank you, Mark. Cody.
I just had a presentation, but I'll rush through it.
Right. And just reminder that this board at this item, we don't make any decisions. So it's just a sharing of information.
That's fine.
Quickly.
Sweet. So we've got Chance Road, Horsell Junction Road, brand new footpath. It's Woolworths Corner, not the right one. It's by the distribution centre. Great, not great when we put a sign straight on it for traffic management. I mean, we literally just got it installed and got a sign on it. And just wanted to flag as well, no curb cut and also no pedestrian crossing on that side yet, which requires people to go around 3 different sides, which is a bit crazy. We've got the Stephen Road footpath. bollards removed. Nuts that they were over there in the first place. But hey, it's some progress. It's something.
Hopefully a signable footpath to come.
Don't know why we put a sign up saying footpath closed. There's no footpath. And then more cones. So we've got about another 20 metres worth of footpath. So it's brilliant. South Express Cycleway practically complete aside from the stormwater works along there, which is brilliant. People using it actually quite a lot. Surprised me, to be honest. New crossings, new bus stops as well. Look like new drainage too. There was some new paint, a bit of widening in some places, and a railway terrace renewal. Got abused by a Higgins staff member taking this picture for some reason, but it's almost done. It's almost done. Wigram Hayden Road signalisation looks really good. So new shed path along the top side, brilliant. Really good to see that. It's been a bit of a gap for a long time. Halswell Junction Road renewal looks amazing. Very, very good. Still going. Brand new right turning arrows on every direction in the Copeland's corner, which is amazing. So we met with NZTA last year. There was one of the quick wins that we're looking to get with them, and it's now done. Someone took all the bricks out in the hub. Don't know why, but no more pothole. Brilliant. Wilmers Road. So I actually found the guy. So the guy who lives in the Ward area, and he's been coming along with his asphalt and asphalting side of the road himself on Wilmers Road, which was surprising and also embarrassing. Now heard from staff that they'll get the Edge of the Road program for renewal, which was great because I was told about 10 years ago it was good for another 30. It's not. Trains off of Halswell Junction Road, so just be aware there is no signalised. There's a signalised crossing and there's no barrier. Tidy up at Oakhampton Reserve as well, which is brilliant. There's still more to be done. Still more. We've got a trial play equipment, Helmore Park, with the swings. Got a wildflower bed, it's gone in just off Albertia Road. We wrote to Spark earlier in the year about really poor coverage and capacity in the Greater Hornby area. So we've got Witham Street Shops on the left, we've got Wigram Central there, we've got Wigram East, we've got Aidenfield, and soon we'll have Seymour and Shans as well. We'll be working. So hopefully we have some coverage on the hub, which has been an issue for quite some time. So Spark's done that very quickly inside of probably 2 or 3 months. Which is quite impressive actually. Big development off of Albertia Road as well, potentially coming in. So they've been doing a bit of a tidy up, and we've got some new EV chargers coming to MPD Islington, which is pretty cool. So it's got capacity for 10 vehicles. First of Waipuna, which is one of the appointments I'm on. I didn't receive any noise complaints, which is good. And also had the Quarry, which is an appointment I've picked up from the Templeton Residents Association as well. No complaints there yet, but they're not actually operating fully yet either. So they've only got just a small handful of people working there. It hasn't really sort of started operating yet. And we also had a Bernardo's meeting, which had nothing to report either.
About some access problems.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's sorted. Thank you. Yeah, there's been a lot going on.
Right, thank you. Anybody else wants to share something? No, we're all good. We'll do our closing character. Unia, Watina, Kia Mama, Renako, Te Inana, Te Wairua, I Te Ara, Takata, Wera, Eru, Pakaira, Ake Kiruna, Kia Tina, Tina, Pie, Tai Pie. Thank you, everybody. Meeting is closed.